Hey guys. So I read I read all of the comments thus far that was on that last vid, the Daryl and Michonne one, and I see and I hear a lot of your concerns, and just to give a few examples. I mean, a lot of the underlying layer was Daryl's a grown man was in most of the comments, and then uh, let's see. Um, Sorry. Okay, that's mostly the beef is that Michonne is an adult, Daryl's an adult. He's gonna do what he wants to do, and that's all true. That's all true. However, um, and I'm not putting. Yep, no, I am putting most of the blame on Michonne here in this instance, in regards to, and I'm singling out Daryl because Daryl is the one who spearheaded. If Daryl were to fall back, Tara and Morgan would have also have fell back as well. Um, and there's definitely a pecking order within Team Fam. We all know that. And it's my personal opinion that Michonne is Rick's true number two, not Daryl, like many would perceive, just because Daryl and Rick have had a relationship longer, they've known each other longer. That's all good and well. However, we've known since season 5 that if anyone is going to pull rank on Rick Grimes, it's Michonne. If anyone is going to check Rick Grimes and check him hard, literally, physically, it's Michonne. This has been true for the last few seasons. Um, and there's also some other points that I've laid out carefully. I'm a writer, so I wrote them out. It's going to be on the website along with this video. But I'm going to look at a few of the topics that I put on there. Can you scroll up a little bit?
Sure.
So to me, Michonne is the first lady. Rick's, the first lady. Rick's first lady, and that's not just a title. Duties come along with that. Also, someone mentioned in the comments. I'm just going off the top of my head because I can't read all of the comments right now, but someone mentioned Michonne's not his babysitter. It's like, no, of course I've never said she's his babysitter, but she is his wife, and she is not well. She's not 100%. So she was back home with the children. So obviously, I would assume, unlike Lori, who didn't watch her kid, that Michonne would. I mean, I'm just saying, that doesn't mean you're a babysitter if you're watching your own kids. And I think it's safe to say at this point that she considers Carl and Judith hers. I don't know anybody who would disagree with that sentiment or why, but they are a family unit. That is the Grimes family. Um, and because Michonne is Rick's true second in command, if she had told Daryl to stand down, I think he would have, or at least to just say it. At least to just say it. Obviously, she couldn't challenge him physically, especially not now. Um, but I don't think Daryl would have given her a lot of pushback if she had put her foot down. That's just my personal opinion. Michonne is like the voice of the group. She has been before. They wouldn't have even gone to Alexandria had it not been for her, who verbally went against Rick in front of everyone and said, no, everybody's going. We're going to check this out. Um, Rick admits to her and say yes that he doesn't want to do this without her, that the whole reason that he's doing it is because of her and for her. She plays a pivotal role. Not her saying I got this star to Rosita, I want to see it. It's like I didn't think she should have been out there, but because she was already out there and Daryl was right there, and that this is a war and there was a carefully laid plan that was agreed upon by all three communities on how it was going to go down, and Daryl was going against that, which is treacherous behavior.
Yeah.
You're derailing the plan, unless his plan was, I'm gonna put a bullet in Negan's head, and he definitely puts a bullet in Negan's head and he brings back a body. That plan was a no-go. Rick was willing to sabotage all those weapons and artillery and explosives to stop Daryl from this dumbass plan. Obviously, Michonne and the others didn't know that, but I'm saying that's how important it was for it to not happen. And Michonne had to have known how important it was at some point. I mean, Rick sent home a handwritten letter from him, signed by him, of their progress and what the next step was. I just don't get why why it wasn't stopped. And if there was anyone to stop it, it would be his number two, and that is also his first lady, which is Michonne. That is the only point that I was trying to make. If anyone was going to make the call, it was going to be her.
Yeah, so I have like two main points to add to that. First of all, we'll start with Daryl. Um, the last time that we see Daryl and Rick interact is on the road right after they had their bro fight. And they had their bro fight, and they seemed like they were fine. And Rick said to him, clear as day, there's a plan and we need to follow it. And Daryl agreed. And they said, well, you know, you'll meet me there. And he's like, yeah, you'll meet me there. So he looked Rick directly in the face and lied his ass off to him, knowing full well that his intention was going to be to deviate from that plan. That really upsets me because, A, like you just said, that is blatantly treacherous behavior. I mean, like, it would be one thing if something unexpected went down and he believed that Rick were dead and he fell back on the plan to drive the truck through the wall as like a backup plan. That's a totally different scenario, and I would understand that, even though I still don't think that's like a great plan, but that would make some sense. But at this time, there's no indication whatsoever that Rick is in a lot of trouble. I mean, I'm not really sure like what the time period was that he was locked up with the trash people, but it could have been like the same day. I mean, they could have like put him in there in the morning and like let him out because it's like daylight in both scenes, you know, it's not really clear. So from what I see, Daryl like couldn't even wait a day until he just went against Rick's plan. And furthermore, if he did believe that Rick was in trouble, why didn't he go and try and find him first? Like, I mean, no mention at all when he's talking to the group of like, oh my God, like, what if Rick's in trouble? Maybe we should go find him. It was like very selfish the way that he just decided in the moment, I'm going to do what I want to do. It doesn't matter what Rick wants. I never even had an intention of listening to Rick in the first place. I don't like that at all. That is like a loose cannon type person that is starting to be somebody who I don't even know if Rick can trust anymore. Okay, so that's Daryl, and then on to Michonne. So I don't like the fact that she left Alexandria. I think that that was a bad move. I don't understand the reasoning for why she needed to leave. She's injured and needs to stay home and heal, otherwise she can't fight at all. It's good that they ran into the fat lady on the way, her and Rosita, and ended up thwarting that plan. But the thing that bugs me about what she said to Daryl in the truck was she was not forceful about it. She said to him, like, basically, it was just like a really soft approach in trying to convince him. She's like, hey, you know, what we're doing, maybe, she kept using the word maybe, like, maybe we should take a step back, maybe we should think about this. And then she said, what, this thing that we're about to do, it's not worth it. Nowhere in there did I hear a direct even question. I feel like she should have been like, Daryl, listen to me.
Yeah.
This is a bad move. Like, she didn't need to like be a bitch about it or anything. She just needed to say to him, like, look, dude, like, I know that Rick would not want this, and this is a horrible decision, and I am asking you, I am begging you not to do this. And I think that under those circumstances, Daryl would have been like, okay,
I don't even think she should have said begging you. She should have just flat out told him, no,
well,
this is not an option.
I would have tried that first, and if that didn't work,
I'm
you know, she could have reached over and just taken the keys. You want to start with, you know, escalate gradually, right?
I'm just saying, like, there are leaders, Rick, Maggie, Ezekiel, then there are generals, Michonne, Carol, who would it be for Hilltop? Jesus, I guess would be Maggie's.
Sure.
Okay, so you know they have to work in the stead of their leaders if they're not there. That's Jesus made a call out in the field in Maggie's stead, and then he brought it to her later. If Michonne's out in the field, I feel like she should have made that call for Rick and not ask there. This is not an asking time. This is, you have a direct order.
Yeah,
Fall in line.
I just feel like she didn't really try hard enough to stop what was going on. She gave a very soft sort of just like, she didn't, I mean, she basically just like threw out a comment of her opinion and like sort of left it up to him to make the decision. And he looks her right in the face and is like, well, it is to me, which to me is a confirmation that he's going to do it. At that point, she needed to like escalate the situation and make sure that he wasn't going to do this, because he's sitting there in the truck with the truck aimed at the sanctuary, you know? And so I think that both of them made huge mistakes, and I just think that Michonne could have tried a lot harder to stop it. That's my point.
Yeah, and and the reason why I'm coming down Michonne harder than Daryl is because I hold her to a higher standard. Daryl has been fucking up the last few seasons, so it's like, okay, this is old news.
I'm the opposite. I come down harder on Daryl because Michonne wouldn't even have to do that if it weren't for what Daryl is doing right now, you know? So it's like, he's the cause of all these problems, and I don't like it that he's betraying Rick directly. I mean, the fact that he looked at him and lied to him to his face, man, it's like, how is he supposed to trust him ever again? I mean, that's just that's really, really bad.
It's a no for me, dog.
That's really, really bad. That's like grounds for like execution in some societies, you know?
Insubordination.
Yeah, can you imagine if a savior did that to Negan? He would be thrown into the oven, just like that doctor who got, you know...
At the very least, you'd be fired.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Daryl should be canceled.
Yeah, I mean,
and Michonne's she's got to get back on her game. I don't know.
Yeah, so
sorry guys.
I guess that's what we have to say.
And it doesn't mean I don't love these characters, but I'm sorry, the whole thing was cocked up from top to bottom, and you don't just go against a carefully laid plan and then not relay the change of plans to the other people who don't know what the hell's going on. You don't.
Yeah.
You just don't do it.
And it's like, you know, I see what you're saying. I mean, sure, Daryl is a grown man, but he's also a grown man making stupid decisions and has a history of making really stupid decisions in the near past. So
and Michonne knows this.
Right. So if he's like being really... She saw him stand up and punch Negan in the face and then get Glenn killed.
She should have told him, sit your dumb ass down. Go sit down.
Exactly.
To have several seats, Daryl.
I mean, if he had like never made a critical error like that in the past, and like had a history of being able to correct a potentially bad error in somebody else's plan, I don't even know how that would play out, then that's a different scenario. But he doesn't. He's made nothing but horrible decisions the last 2 years. He was a key component in like how they even pissed off Negan in the Saviors in the first place. Then he got Glenn killed by standing up and punching Negan in the face. I don't think his judgment is great right now. Like, to me, I feel like he needs to redeem himself for anybody to trust his judgment. Frankly, I don't even think he should, like, be on this mission with how volatile he is. He's way too close to this emotionally. He's making all these decisions just based on his own vendetta against the Saviors. And that's just not a good place to be in when you're dealing with a plan that's going to potentially save or kill hundreds of people.
Yeah.
So, that's what I have to say about it. Anything else?
No, I lay out my points more clearly in an article, which we will be in the link shortly. It might not be right away because I have to upload the video first. But yeah, just go to thelivingroomshow.com. It'll be there.
And on that note, if you guys like our content, subscribe right here. I won't mention the blog because she already did. Also follow us on Instagram at RLRoshone. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.